Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is where we ignite your potential and push you to live the life you were meant to live. Today we're diving deep into why risk is your ticket to greatness, how to break free from the comfort trap, and what it takes to turn your dreams into reality. Before we jump in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss a single drop of this fire we're bringing you every week. Ready? Let's go. Because your time to rise starts now. Section 1. Don't let your mind sabotage your destiny. The greatest threat to your potential isn't the external obstacles you face. It's the silent thief lurking within your own thoughts. We often fixate on the dangers outside, like a shadow waiting to steal what's ours. But what about the doubt that creeps in and robs us of our dreams? You promised yourself yesterday that today would be different, that you'd finally take that step, chase that vision, or speak that truth. Yet here you are, still hesitating, still waiting for permission that no one but you can grant. Consider the words of Michael Jordan, who once said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." High performers don't wait for the perfect moment. They seize the imperfect ones and mold them into something extraordinary. That video you've been meaning to post, that business idea simmering in your mind, that book you've left untouched on the shelf, it's not the world holding you back, it's you. The thief in your mind whispers excuses, but the champion in your soul knows the truth. Action is the antidote to regret. Every unstarted dream is a weight you carry, a quiet burden that grows heavier with time. You might think you're protecting yourself by delaying, but you're only postponing the life you're meant to live. Oprah Winfrey once reflected, "The big secret in life is that there's no big secret. Whatever your goal, you can get there if you're willing to work." The clock is ticking, and the only way to outrun the thief is to begin, right now, today, this very moment. So take inventory of your promises to yourself. What's that one thing you've been avoiding? The one idea that keeps tugging at your heart? Forget the imagined judgment of others. They don't hold the keys to your future, you do. Step forward, even if it's messy, even if it's small. The first move is the hardest, but it's also the one that sets you free. Section 2. Risk is the currency of a life well lived. The chances of a shark snapping at your heels in the vast ocean are a whisper in the wind, about 1 in 4 million. But the odds of lying awake at night, haunted by the waves you never rode, the risks you never took, that's a guaranteed 1 in 1, a certainty as real as the breath in your lungs. I know if I don't plunge into the water this week, if I don't let myself feel the thrill of the unknown, I'll be staring at the ceiling next week, cursing my own caution. Life isn't about dodging danger. It's about embracing the fear that signals you're alive. Think of the small risks that could rewrite your story. Ask yourself, why not ask that barista out, the one whose smile lingers in your mind? Why not pack your bags and chase the skyline of a city that calls to you? Elon Musk once said, "I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary." The extraordinary isn't born from playing it safe. It's forged in the moments you dare to step beyond the edge. Regret doesn't stalk the bold. It preys on the hesitant, the ones who let "what if" become "if only." These years right now are the crucible where you shape the person you'll become. Every choice is a chisel, every risk a stroke that defines the sculpture of your life. Muhammad Ali famously declared, "He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life." You don't need to court disaster, but you do need to court possibility. The only danger that's truly fatal is the slow death of a life untested, a soul that never leapt. Pain, not pleasure, is the spark that ignites real change. Pleasure might nudge you forward, but it's the sting of what you stand to lose, the ache of a dream deferred, that lights a fire under your feet. Imagine the stakes raised, the urgency sharpened. If you had one day to live, what would you chase? That's your compass. Risk isn't reckless. It's the price of admission to a life that matters. Today isn't just another Tuesday. It's the starting line. And someday is a myth that never arrives. Section 3. Today is the seed of tomorrow's triumph. The future doesn't bloom from idle wishes. It takes root in the soil of action you plant today. Tomorrow's promise hinges on the courage you muster right now, the step you take when your heart races and your palms sweat. That dream stirring in your chest, that quiet belief that something greater is possible. It's not a passive hope. It demands you move. You begin, you dare to shape it into reality. before the light of tomorrow can ever break through. Dreams aren't just the fleeting images that dance behind your eyelids at night. They're the fire that keeps you awake, restless, aching to become. Serena Williams once said, "Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up." That's the truth of it. Real dreams don't let you sleep because they're alive, urgent, pulling you toward them. They're not content to stay in the realm of someday. They demand to be chased, to be claimed, to be lived. The moment you stop seeing them as distant stars and start seeing them as destinations, everything shifts. It's so easy to settle into the lie that good enough is the goal, that safety is the ultimate prize. Comfort whispers that you're fine where you are, that risking more is foolish. But good enough is a cage. It's existence, not life. Steve Jobs put it bluntly, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. You weren't born to hunker down and watch the world spin by. You were born to leap, to test the edges of what's possible, to find out what's on the other side of fear." I'm no legend, just a regular person who's bumped up against my own walls. But who gets to define where those walls stand? Not the doubters, not the setbacks, not even the version of you that's tired today. Limits aren't fixed, they're challenged by every forward step. Forget overanalyzing the stumbles, focus on the jump. Every titan you admire, from Beyoncé to Elon Musk, took that leap. If they did, why not you? Today's risk is tomorrow's reward. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Section 4. Success demands the courage to act. No one climbs the mountain of achievement without staking something on the journey. Success and risk are inseparable partners. Take wealth, for instance. Your money won't multiply stacking hours at a job. It grows when you plant it somewhere bold, letting it work while you dream. Warren Buffett didn't become a legend by hoarding cash under a mattress. He invested, he risked, he trusted in the unseen. The same principle applies to every corner of life. Nothing expands without a wager, whether it's your finances, your fitness, or your future. You might hope for a stronger body, a fatter wallet, a deeper connection, or a higher rung on the ladder, but hope alone is a hollow shell. The world doesn't shift to meet your wishes. It bends to your will when you move. As Tony Robbins puts it, the path to success is to take massive, determined action. Thinking about change, talking about change, it's all noise until you step into the arena. Delusion isn't the enemy here, it's the spark. Every trailblazer, from Einstein to Oprah, carried a wild belief that the impossible could bend to their vision. Action is the bridge between where you stand and where you belong. It's tempting to linger on the shore, sketching plans and rehearsing speeches, but the water doesn't part until you wade in. Consider Leonardo da Vinci. He didn't just dream of flight. He sketched wings, he tested ideas, he acted. Nothing transforms until you do. The gym won't sculpt you. The market won't reward you. The relationship won't heal unless you commit to the first push. That's the secret. Motion begets momentum. Don't just endure your days, mine them for gold. Be a sponge, soaking up every lesson, every hue, every whisper the world offers. Most people drift through time, punching clocks and chasing weekends, but you can do more. You can extract wisdom from the hours. Join what I call the University of Life, where every sunrise is a lecture hall. Patience is your tuition. Mastery doesn't come after a single swing. Like learning a language, fluency in success takes steady, deliberate steps. Absorb it all, and don't rush the roots. Section 5. Nothing to lose is everything to gain. When you're standing at ground zero, with no wins to clutch or losses to mourn, you're holding a rare gift, limitless opportunity. Zero stakes mean endless shots. Every attempt is a free swing at the life you crave. Imagine a soccer field with no goalkeeper. That's your position when you've got nothing holding you back. The only tragedy is reaching 80, gazing into the rearview mirror and whispering, "I didn't even try." Regret isn't born from failure. It festers in the stillness of inaction. Strike while the iron's hot, when the spark of an idea burns bright and your pulse races with purpose. Delay dulls the edge. Wait a month and the fire cools. Wait a year and it's ash. Will Smith once said, "The best things in life are on the other side of fear." Action doesn't need to be reckless, but it must be swift. That dream you're nursing? It's a live wire. Grab it before it fades. Time isn't your ally here, it's the thief waiting to steal your momentum. Consistency is the quiet power that topples giants. The world is full of erratic dreamers, starting strong and fizzling fast. Outpace them by showing up day after day. Kobe Bryant didn't become a legend with sporadic effort. He drilled the basics until they became extraordinary. Exceptional isn't a sudden leap. It's a ladder built rung by rung. Start with the discipline to keep going, and the heights will follow. Distractions, not rivals, are the real threat. They're the noise drowning out your focus. Risk isn't just in the leap, it's in the standing still. You might fear the unknown of a new path, but staying put carries its own peril. A life untested, a story unwritten. Visualize the reality you want, then back it with sweat. J.K. Rowling didn't just imagine Hogwarts, she wrote it into existence. Stop scrolling through others' victories and start crafting your own. No one's coming to hand you an epic life. You're the architect, the builder, the one who decides. Get serious, because life is a high-stakes game, a dance to keep death at bay, and every move counts. Section 6. Push back against the inevitable. Life is a relentless tug-of-war with an opponent that never rests. Death creeps closer unless you shove it back with everything you've got. A vibrant, thriving existence isn't handed to you. It's claimed through resistance, through refusing to let time win too soon. That's the purpose behind what we're building here. Tools to arm you for the fight, to extend your grip on vitality. You don't get to coast through this. You've got to dig in and push, because surrender isn't an option. This isn't a stage for cheap laughs or fleeting distractions. We're not here to skim the surface with a few chuckles and call it a day. We're here to dig deep, to equip you with wisdom, to stretch your limits. Life demands seriousness, a fierce focus on what's at stake. The future isn't a vague horizon. It's a battlefield, and every choice you make is a swing in the struggle. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. We're here to learn, to grow, to seize the best we can from the chaos. The stakes are starkly uneven. Charles Dickens nailed it. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. For some who've tapped into this moment, say at an extravaganza event, the rewards are dazzling, millions in the bank, a life of abundance. But zoom out and the picture darkens. Countless others are sinking, grappling with the worst chapters of their stories. In a world spinning faster every day, playing it safe isn't just timid, it's reckless. The real gamble is freezing in place, letting opportunity slip while the clock ticks on. Failure isn't the enemy, it's the teacher success can never be. Triumph might polish your ego, but it's the stumbles that carve your character. Fear of falling keeps most people paralyzed, but here's the twist. The regret of not trying cuts deeper than any defeat. Imagine waking up at 65, shrugging off a failed attempt with, "I gave it my shot." Now picture the sting of muttering, "I could have done it, but I didn't even try." Mark Zuckerberg once noted, "The biggest risk is not taking any risk." Push back now. Learn from the bruises, not the applause, and live a life that defies the fade. Section 7. Guard the purity of your dreams. Dreams start as wild, untainted flames, pure and boundless when we're young, before the world teaches us to dim them. Too often, growing up feels like shrinking down. Maturity piles on layers of caution. Responsibility clips the wings of our imagination. We trade the infinite for the practical, installing brakes where there should be accelerators. But here's the truth. The battle isn't about breaking limits. It's about shielding that original spark, keeping your dreams raw and unshackled from the weight of should. Protecting that purity is a sacred fight. It's not just for you, it's a charge for parents, mentors, anyone who's ever dared to dream big. J.K. Rowling, who scribbled Harry Potter in cafes while broke, didn't let reality dictate her vision. She guarded it fiercely. When you cradle your imagination like a fragile, precious thing, the horizon explodes with possibility. Limits don't define you. They're just noise. The world becomes a playground when you refuse to let your dreams grow tame. I've poured everything into mine. Every ounce of focus, every sleepless night, every grueling repetition. It's not a half-hearted flirtation. It's all or nothing. Michael Phelps didn't win 23 Olympic golds by dipping a toe in the pool. He dove in, body and soul. Ask yourself, what do you crave from this life? Strip away the excuses, money, time, talent, and picture it. If the slate were clean and the canvas yours, what would you paint? That's your North Star. Don't let it blur. Commitment isn't a negotiation. It's a vow. If you're in, be all in, whether it's a breeze or a brutal climb. Half measures leave you haunted by what-ifs, but full throttle silences the doubts. As Eric Thomas says, pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. Seize it before you're polished and ready. Grab courage by the throat and own it. For once, let your actions roar louder than your words. Follow through and watch your life catch fire. Section 8. The rush of following through. There's an electric surge that hits when you see something through, a high that rewires your soul, whispering that no mountain's too high, no ocean too vast. It's not just about checking a box, it's about forging a belief in yourself that cracks the world open. Finishing what you start builds a steel-threaded confidence, a mindset where impossible starts to sound like a dare. That's the prize waiting beyond the grind. Not applause, but the quiet roar of knowing you can. Beware the trap of hollow praise. Good job might feel warm, but it's a sedative, lulling you into settling. The gap between your hunger and your reality, it's paved with inaction. Desire alone is a ghost. It haunts but doesn't build. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once said, "Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Today's the day to stop plotting and start moving. Don't mull it over, don't chat it up, just go. The clock's ticking and your dreams won't wait. Even the toughest souls scan the room for a spark of direction. Be that spark. When the air's heavy, when doubt creeps into every glance and you're wrestling your own reluctance, rise anyway. Step up, look the moment in the eye and say, let's do this. Leadership isn't a title, it's a choice, forged in the muck when no one else will budge. Jocko Willink, a Navy SEAL turned motivator, puts it plain, discipline equals freedom. You don't need to feel ready, you need to act ready. Risk is the heartbeat of a life worth living. Play it safe and you'll collect years, not stories. Chasing what sets you ablaze takes guts. It might cost you sleep, comfort, everything you've clung to. Most balk at that price tag. They'd rather stay cozy than bruised. But success isn't a soft landing. It's a jagged climb, and discomfort is its currency. If you can't stomach the ache, don't bother chasing the crown. I paid it all, and the payoff, a life that's mine, carved from the chaos. Section 9. Break free from the danger of comfort. Step up and charge toward what's yours. Comfort isn't a sanctuary, it's a cage masquerading as safety. That cozy corner you've settled into, it's a danger zone, a slow poison draining your potential drop by drop. Staying still doesn't preserve you, it buries you. True growth demands you ditch the excuses. Nobody, not even your own mind, gets to dictate what you're capable of. Push through the noise because you can and you must. Dreams without legs are just pretty pictures. They fade into disappointment unless you anchor them with goals. Without a clear target, you're a ship adrift, doomed to sail for someone else's horizon. Life's equation is brutal but simple. You're either carving your own path or paving someone else's. As Zig Ziglar said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. Distractions, not competitors, are the real thieves. Those shiny sidetracks you indulge are stealing your future. Risk isn't optional, it's everywhere. Chasing that new venture might feel like a cliff dive, but so does rotting in the same old rut. There's no safe lane, security's a myth. Visualize what you want, then back it with grit. Michael Jordan didn't just picture championships, he sweated for them. What you see in your mind's eye can harden into reality, but only if you move. Right now, you're living the life you've convinced yourself you deserve. Shift that belief, and everything shifts with it. Start today, aggressively, unapologetically. Behold the possibilities. That next handshake could spark a lifelong alliance. But beware what you become in the chase. Don't let the hunt twist you. Procrastination's a seductive trap, but the cure isn't a mystery. It's action now. The idea won't ignite itself, the book won't write itself, the weights won't lift themselves. Stop plotting and start doing. Keep pushing one step at a time, and the world bends to your will. Yesterday's ease is gone, tomorrow's uncertain, but today's yours to seize. Section 10. Seize the day with everything you've got. You've got one shot each morning. One day to pour every drop of yourself into it. Wake up and unleash it all. Everything you need is right there, circling you like a loyal crew. Stray too far, chasing shadows, and you'll lose the rhythm of the day. Don't try to haul it like a burden. Let it lift you instead. Whatever crosses your path, crash into it with full force. As David Goggins says, you don't get what you don't fight for. This is your arena. Own it. People will warn you off every bold turn, spotlighting the pitfalls. And sure, they might be right about the short-term stumbles. Every choice splits into pros and cons, but here's the kicker. Staying put, refusing to shift, is a slow march to nowhere. Success isn't a lightning strike. It's 1,000 small pivots stacking up. Picture two boats side by side. One veers just 5 degrees off course. Months later, it's in a whole new sea while the other's still drifting the same old line. Incremental guts beat stagnant comfort every time. I'd rather overshoot than undershoot, always. Half effort gets you a pat on the back and a soft landing. Full throttle gets you a life. The harder you push, whether it's training, dreaming, building, the richer the payoff. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't sculpt his legacy with lazy reps. He hammered the iron until it bent. Ease only buys you a fleeting breather, but sweat buys you a story. The reward for coasting is just that, coasting. If you want more, grind for it. It's your call, a life that hums or one that fizzles. Discipline's your alarm clock. Wake up and choose. Do you build something worthy today, or do you let it slip? William James nailed it. We are spinning our own fates, good or evil, and never to be undone. Pour life into your vision. Give it oxygen, even if it flops. Some ideas won't survive the heat, and that's fine. Let them die on the field, not in your head. No more stalling for the perfect moment. Execute now, raw, real, relentless, and watch what rises. Section 11. Conquer the fear within. The fiercest enemy you'll ever face isn't out there. It's the shadow staring back from the mirror. We all cradle dreams, fragile and bold, but admitting them feels like stepping onto a tightrope. Saying, "This is what I want," is a gut punch because it's a bet on yourself. And if you pour everything in and fall short, the sting cuts deep. Fear isn't the failure. It's the hesitation to risk that heartbreak. True courage is bearing your soul and charging anyway. Not for applause, but for the fire in your own chest. I decided it's simple. Work at it every day, no excuses. That's where it began. Raw, unglamorous effort. Some days I'll admit it's a slog. Exhaustion claws at me and I wonder why I bothered. But now I crave the grind. Easy feels like a cheat. I want the struggle, the sweat, the proof I earned it. As Kobe Bryant said, great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. When you wrestle the hard and win, that victory's yours alone, untouchable. Desire plus action isn't a spark. It's a detonation. That mix blasts open the door to whatever you're bold enough to chase. This world bends to those who treat it like a canvas, not a cage. Every icon you admire, someone human just like you, made their mark because they dared to. The only gap? It's in your head. Your mind can forge a titan or sabotage a dreamer. It's your call. The gym's my proof. It's not just steel and reps. It's a forge for confidence, a mirror for life. Build your body, and you build something deeper. Unshakable belief. That's the edge winners wield. Their faith drowns out the doubters every time. Look at Serena Williams. She didn't just play tennis, she owned it, defying every skeptic with relentless will. You're not here to shrink, you're here to rise. Embrace the fear, wrestle it down, and claim what's yours. Right now you've got every reason to stand tall because you're still in the fight. Section 12. Belief in yourself is the spark of greatness. Success hinges on a single, unshakable truth. When the world turns its back, you've got to stand tall and believe in yourself. That's the pivot point. Your faith in your own fire either fuels a breakthrough or fizzles into nothing. It's cause and effect, plain as day. Self-belief shapes the life you'll live, the one you must start living now. Don't just dip a toe in, dive head first. As Muhammad Ali said, "I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was." That's the mindset that carves legends. Some crave safety, clinging to the promise of a padded cell, food on a tray, a roof overhead, no risks to bruise them. Fine, huddle there blanketed in security and you might limp to 100. But what's the cost? A life untested, unlit, unalive. Adventure trumps longevity every time. 30 years of bold beats, a century of beige. Fear change? Fair enough. But flip the script, how terrifying is it to stay stuck? Project a decade of inertia. Same spot, just grayer. That's not stasis, that's slow decay. Urgency is your edge, a rare trait, a 2% superpower. It's not passive. It's a throttle you grip or a tide that drags you under. Stop stalling, go now. Life's a custom puzzle, and yours won't solve itself. Embrace the grind, the panting, the sweat, the collapse after pushing past failure. That's your ally, not your enemy. David Goggins calls it the callousing of the mind. Failure in the gym, in the ring, in the day-to-day builds the muscle for triumph. Safety won't forge strength, calculated risks will. Action is the antidote to life's stings. Don't stew, do. Miss the promotion? Don't sulk. Dissect it, map the fix, move. One brick feels trivial, but stack them daily, and you'll gape at the fortress you've built. Oprah didn't rise overnight. She stacked wins, step by relentless step. Start small, start today, then tomorrow again. That's the rhythm of epic. 1 foot forward day after day. Someone will marvel, how'd you do it? You'll grin, 1 brick at a time. That's your legacy, rising from the dust of now. Section 13. Embrace risk to ignite your potential. Choose to be a risk taker. It's the only way to crack open the shell of who you could become. David Viscott's words echo through time. If you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. This is your life, your canvas, and it won't paint itself. Without pushing against the current, without daring to disturb the stillness, you're just a passenger on a train that's already left the station. Change demands force, your force, and if you don't apply it, tomorrow will mirror today, a dull rerun of untapped promise. Nature resists upheaval. It craves the familiar, the easy groove it's worn into your days. Your instincts lean toward conserving energy, sticking to the script you've rehearsed 1,000 times. But that's the fight, breaking free from the gravity of routine. I've lingered too long on the sidelines myself, wishing for a shift I didn't chase, doubting I could steer it. It's a lonely climb up there in your head, but you're not alone. I'm right there with you, rooting for the moment you step into the storm and claim your ground. Risk isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. Safety lures you with promises of a long, quiet life, meals delivered, edges softened, but it's a hollow trade. Better to burn bright for 30 years than flicker for 100 in a corner. Fear whispers, what if I stumble? Yet the real terror is decades of, what if I'd tried? Elon Musk didn't build empires by playing it safe. He leapt, crashed, and leapt again. Urgency is your rare weapon. Only 2% wield it. Grab it now because the right time is a mirage. Act today or watch your dreams calcify into regrets. This is your shot, your life-changing day. Enough is enough isn't just a phrase, it's a battle cry. You're phenomenal, brimming with greatness, but you've been sleepwalking through it, unsure of your own name. A friend once hit me with, if not now, then when? And it stuck. Failure doesn't shrink your odds, it sharpens them. Every misstep is a lesson, not a sentence. So go, pour your time, your soul, your everything into it. Life doesn't reward the clever who sit, it crowns the bold who move. Don't let this chance spit on your shoes and walk away.